What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Red and Gold Standard Podcast. My name is Zach Hernandez, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, Mike Andrews of Nothing But Niners. Matt Llewellyn will be joining us shortly. Before I toss it over to Mike, if you're watching on X, make sure you hit like and repost. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit like and subscribe and support both channels, 49ersHive and Nothing But Niners. They're in these little icons below our names. It's going to be a great show planned for you guys tonight. We got extensions to talk about. We got Diana Rossini being a fraud to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. Mike, how you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. I'm ready to have a really good episode with you guys. Hopefully I'm not too loud. Viewers out there, let me know how the volume sounds in comparison to Zach and Matt when he gets in here. I've been having some audio decisions to make lately, and I'm trying to figure it out. So we'll figure it out early on in the stream, and then we'll get it rocking the rest of the way. But I'm excited, man. I had a great night. I actually had my best night of bowling ever. And I've been in a league for the last 2 years now. This is my best 3-game series I've ever had. It wasn't great or anything like that. It wasn't an 800 series or anything like that, but it was still a really, really good night. 732 total for the 3 games. My low game was 220 something, and then my last 2 games were 253. So I was on fire tonight, man. I won a lot of money. It was good, man. You come home with a couple $100 in your pocket from side bets. It's great, man.
There you go. We went bowling for my niece's birthday about 6 weeks ago. I hadn't bowled in probably 10, 15 years, and I hit 3 strikes in a row to start out. I was hyped, and then I didn't hit anything for like the next 2 to 3 shots. But you best believe I was talking crap like that's me. Yeah, Joey, who do you think you are? I am. Tell me you know that clip, right, Mike?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
How do you not? You're a bowler.
Is that all? What? There's no comment. Oh, the little dude with the glasses. I know who you're talking about. I do know who you're talking about. The little, the professional guy. Yes. I don't remember his name, but I do know what you're talking about.
Well,
I watch him.
In
little
case
skinny
the
white
chat
guy.
doesn't know, I have it up here now. Thank you, Joey.
Strike to claim it. A strike to claim it. And he got it!
Are you kidding me? That's right. Who do you think you are? I am. Get it right.
He's that fired up over a 215. That is funny, man. Like that is, but it's pressure, right? So in my bowling league, I'm the anchor. And it's not because I'm the best bowler on the team. My dad averages 5 more pins a game than I am, but pressure doesn't bother me, right? So it's like if we need to strike out to win the game by 2 or 3 pins, like they want me in that position. Mm-hmm. And it took me a year and a half to get that. Like I had to earn that spot. So it doesn't come lightly. You don't have to be the best. You just have to be clutch in order to be the closer. So yeah, that's where I am right now.
Man,
I started my first game with 8 strikes in a row, bro. 8 strikes in a row, and there's only 12 max. Like you can only get 12 strikes in total. And then the lady said, "I'm putting the Maloiks on you." She was joking, and the very next one I blew it. So I was like, "Oh my god!" So I wasn't pissed off because tonight it was a lot of bowling for fun and just side bets. Like the league was over. It was our fun night. They paid everybody out for where you finish and all that stuff. So it was cool.
Damn. That sounds like a lot of fun, man. Bowling is fun. I don't think people realize how fun it is until you go do it. But I had, like I said, 10, 15 years, went and bowled, and it was a good amount of fun. Now that we got that out of the way, how's your week going, Mike? I know you just said you did bowling. Everything's good. Everything's good on your end.
No, so the week has been a little crazy. The wife and I, we played hooky on Monday. We went out. She picked the Cheesecake Factory was where she wanted to go. So
I just went there Saturday.
There. Yeah, we went there. It's weird because like we go and like we're like parents chewing through, right? So it's like we're not going to worry about the kids, like they're fine. Like we went Mani Petty's and then Cheesecake Factory. Like we just had this whole mom and dad day. And when we're leaving, we're like, all right, we got to order some food and some like slices for the kids, and the bill came to like $215 or something like that. Like, and I know people were looking at us like these fat asses. Like, how much do they want to take home with them, right? But we had a good time, man. And then Tuesday was yesterday. Tuesday was
yes.
yesterday. So I bought a camera. So I did I'm in a franchise league in Madden with my cousin. And, we go out, we play our own games individually. Like, it's like he plays his, I play mine. And it turns out we met in the Super Bowl. And it's not like either one of us was like perfect or anything like that. We both had 4 or 5 losses or something like that. We just happened to meet in the Super Bowl. And I streamed it to the viewers on the Nothing But Niners channel. But you can only use the PlayStation camera if you want to be seen. Like, they do like this overlay thing. Like, you can have whatever camera you want in the world. If it's not the PS5 camera, it doesn't show you. Or you have to like download, what is it, ODS? What's
OBS?
OBS. Yeah, you have to download that and like put all these layers. And I don't care enough to do that. So I just bought the PlayStation 5 camera, so I'm excited now. I'm gonna let people watch me play Madden and stuff like that, and I'm gonna get my ass whooped in front of everybody. But it's been a pretty good week, man. It's been pretty good.
Damn, there you go. Yeah, it's been an interesting week. My manager, I think I told you guys, I recently got promoted. My manager has a wedding to go to in New York, so she is going to be out. Today was her last day. She's out for like 9 days. So I am in charge, de facto boss, and I am now going to be cracking that whip. I'm just kidding.
That's racist.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
Oh, come on. None of my coworkers are black.
I guess it's reparations if minorities doing it, right? So
there you go.
I guess I'm with it.
Yeah. Turn to the tables.
That's funny. It's funny because
Go ahead.
I was gonna say there's a term in bowling called getting hung, right? So it's a team of 4 people. If 3 people strike and 1 person doesn't, they call it the hung bowler. So me and my dad are in the league. Obviously, we're black, right? And then our 2 other players are white. And so if one of the white guys or white people strike, and then me and it's like, hey, don't let them hang us. Like, don't. We have come too far for that to happen. You know what I mean? So it's like it's always that little added pressure. Like, we have a lot of fun, man. We make a lot of inappropriate jokes, man. It's a really good time.
Did you ever see the clips from that trial? And it was a very serious trial, but there was a black guy who was clearly not mentally sane representing himself, and these clips were just going viral.
Is that the dude that drove through the crowd? The little skinny bald dude?
No, not that guy. This guy had like a crazy dreads. Let me see if I could. I think Ronnie O'Neal was his name.
You said dreads, but you did this. Like,
well, they're like they are standalone. I don't know if they're dreads or if it's just his hair is kind of like that.
So there's dreads and then there's locks, right? So like I have locks, but the dreads are like usually thicker. It's a big bunch of them, like what The Weeknd had, Like,
yeah. Okay, I found. Okay,
like Jay-Z.
So in my mind, this is how I'm gonna be with my coworkers now that I am the de facto manager.
Okay.
You come here to play around with y'all. God damn it on that.
All right, Mr. O'Neill, please stop using swearing language. It's not appropriate to close an argument.
I want you to know the actual facts.
Those clips went viral, man. Those clips went viral. The idiot got fully
the fastest guilty verdict ever.
Right. All right. Now that we got the fun out of the way, regardless of how good of a week either of us have had, Mike, I don't think it's comparing to Brock Purdy's week, because Brock Purdy got some cheddar this week, man. He signed a 5-year, $256 million to stay with the San Francisco 49ers, with $165 million within the first 3 years, $181 million in total guarantees, averaging $53 million per year. Before we get into the X's and O's, the pennies and dollars and yada, yada, what was your initial reaction when you heard this news?
It was cool. I wasn't against it. I wasn't like upset about it. I wanted it to be a situation where the Niners gave him his money that he deserved. I didn't think he deserved to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. I also didn't think he deserved to be outside the top 10. And I also wanted the Niners to have some protections where they can get out in a couple of years if by chance things didn't go through. And as the details came out today, we all see that, April 1st is going to be a pivotal date for all of that. And so I liked it. You know what I mean? Like, especially what I learned today. I don't know if you have that information pulled up, but the details of the contract actually came out today. I like it, and if that's what they did, I think it's a win-win for everybody. But more importantly than that, I love that the Niners aren't dragging their feet with getting these major deals done into the duration of the season and getting close to week one anymore. Like that stress and that nonsense is all gone, and I'm happy that they've learned from the ways the error of their ways.
Right. No, I agree. And I do have the contract details. This is per NBC Sports Pro Football Talk. $40 million signing bonus. 2025 base salary is $1.1 million. And 2026 option bonus, $37.75 million, fully guaranteed. 2026 workout bonus, $100,000, fully guaranteed, but must be earned. 2026 base salary, $8.296 million, fully guaranteed. 2026 per game roster bonus, $850,000, fully guaranteed, but must be earned. 2027 option bonus, $15 million. Guaranteed, details see below. 2027 workout bonus, $100,000. 2027 base salary, $11.3 million. The numbers don't really start to balloon until 2028, when you'll see his base salary goes up to $34.1 million and becomes fully guaranteed on April 1st of 2027. 2029, his base salary is $49 million. 2030, base salary $49.05 million. To me, I was hyped to see this contract get done because, like you said, we're sitting here, mid-May, and holy crap, it's already done. But once the numbers came out, everybody was kind of shock and awe over it. It's kind of like the classic 3-and-C. It's like over the first 3 years, the Niners aren't overextending themselves in any, form or any, situation possible. Like I said, this year's base salary, $1.1 million, then, $40 million Ross signing bonus. But, for a quarterback of his caliber and who has played up to his level, I think they're happy to pay that. 2026 base salary, $8.296. 2027 base salary, $11.3. So really the base salary is very low over the next 3 years. It's all mainly the bonuses, right? The signing bonus, option bonus, roster bonus, yada, 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 is where the bigger chunks of money are coming into play. Do you think the 49ers did this because they're, still hoping Purdy proves himself a little more? Or do you think this is just the way they structured it around some cap relief? Is there any thoughts that you have surrounding how they structured this deal? Or is it just classic Parag?
No, this isn't classic Parag. I think that this is security for both sides. Like I said, Brock is going to get his guaranteed money, period. And the Niners have those outs after 3 years. Like, let's be honest. I think that there was a lot of questions. Kyle can come out and say whatever he wants to say about, like, oh, I have all the confidence in the world. That's what you're supposed to say when you're giving somebody this kind of contract, right? You're not supposed to come out and be like, yeah, we still want to evaluate this guy for another season or two, but let's make him a top 10 paid quarterback. Like, you can't do both, right? You can't talk out of both sides of your mouth. And so this is showing that it's going to be both. So we're going to give him the money those first 3 years, and then you see right there 2018 number 11, but that on April 1st is when it becomes fully guaranteed, right? Heading into the draft, where are we at? Where do we think we're going to be? Can we get another quarterback type of thing? And then it happens, the April 1st after that over and over. So these are the things that I like. Like I said, it's security for both sides. Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, is going to appreciate the 150, 170, 80, whatever it was that was total guarantees. And the Niners are going to appreciate having that April 1st option as well. So they're not going to put themselves in a trap. So if the ball bounces the right way, that's a Halliburton joke for those of you watching the NBA playoffs right now. If the ball bounces the right way, then Purdy's the guy. He's got to go out there and show it, though. And this also gives the Niners some time to go out and get a couple of free agents if they need to. This gives them some time and some wiggle room to go out there and make some trades for some players that might have high contracts that they need to rework and all that. It doesn't strap them at all. So I really, really like what we see from this deal here.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, quick aside. This new chat on the screen feature that you see on the bottom right corner of your screen is new. It's like a beta testing phase that's rolled out to us by StreamYard. Let us know what you guys think. Do you guys like it? Is it in the way? Let's get some feedback on it. Do you prefer one comment at a time and it's there and it's gone? Do you like the way it looks? Let us know. I think
I'd be interested to know what a super chat looks like on the screen. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, maybe we'll get one. We can test it out. I think the 49ers, I mean, there were reports coming out in the last couple of days. Brock Purdy's team's initial offer was $65 million per, and then that kind of was disputed by some people with sources. You never know what's what anymore. But I really do think that this was an agreement that both sides felt comfortable giving, coming to the table. And it really did seem like a collaborative effort to get to this. Also not mentioned in this article, Purdy got a no trade clause, Mike. Did that surprise you to hear?
No, not at all. That comes with security also, right? When you have that April 1st deadline, like you don't need a no trade clause. We can just cut you. That's fine. If we, you know what I mean? Like there's got to be give and take, right? Imagine having the April 1st and you could be traded at any moment. Like that's a little disheartening. So I like that they did this. This was supposed to provide comfort on both sides. This was supposed to make the people who say Brock Purdy is overpaid and it's all about the players around him feel good. And this is also for the people that say, hey, no, Brock Purdy is really him. We've watched a lot of bad quarterback play over the years, and Purdy's been one of the better ones we've had since Jeff Garcia, right? So this was designed to comfort both sides of the argument, and I think they knocked it out of the park.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a good point. There's only a few players in the NFL, or maybe is it quarterbacks? I think it is players in general that have a no trade clause still. It's kind of rare these days. I remember that in today's press conference, they asked him, was that something that you really fought for? And he said, not really. Like me and my agent had talked about it. Was it something that was going to make or break my deal? No. Like I would have signed it without it, but it is nice to have those extra security guarantees, knowing that they can't, just trade me. And call me crazy. I don't know if the 49ers event would trade him. I think his best fit is here, like with Kyle Shanahan. There was some talk, and I wonder what your thoughts are on this, Mike. The 49ers outbid themselves. Have you seen these takes out there? Why did they give him $53 million? Nobody else was going to pay, over $30 million for Brock. Why did they give into this? What's your take on that? Did the 49ers get in a bidding war with themselves here?
It is the dumbest take on the internet right now. Not coming from Rossini. This is the dumbest take on the internet. Of course the Niners bid against themselves because the kid didn't have the ability to talk to other teams. He was under contract with the Niners and only the Niners. The Niners weren't looking to say, hey, who else is going to pay you more than, like, that's not how you can go into negotiations with anybody with this kind of contract, right? When Debo demanded a trade, right, now it's like, all right, well, who's willing to give him what or whatever, or we don't want him to take this pay with this roster anymore, so if we can't get rid of him, then fine. You know what I mean? Like, then he's probably going to get cut. But they did find a trade partner, so you take what you can get, right? That's not where we were in this negotiation. We had him under contract for this year. We had the tag options and all that stuff. There was no pressure for the Niners to make any kind of drastic moves or drastic changes. He wasn't already playing under a major contract. Yes, they were essentially bidding against themselves, but it wasn't a bid. It was, this is what we think you're worth, and this is what we're willing to pay you. And do you guys like it or not? It was working together, not bidding against anybody. So there were no other teams involved. There was no market to compare it to as far as like you gotta look at what his agent was going to bring to the table. Look at the DVOA and all that stuff, all the advanced metrics for quarterbacks. And Purdy is top 10 in all of those, and he got paid as such. He got paid as a top 10 guy. That's it.
Yeah, I think it's also dumb because how many crappy quarterbacks are out there? How many teams don't even have one good quarterback? To say that if he had the opportunity to truly experience the open market, I mean, how much did Sam Darnold just go for? 30 million or 40 million? What did he get from Seattle? Like a good amount of money, right?
Trevor Lawrence.
These are guys that can't even sniff Purdy's jockstrap as far as accomplishments. Trevor, Tua, even Dak. Dak being the highest paid quarterback is wild. Even still, like years later from that contract extension that he got, I think it's a dumb talking point because you have to go fair. You have to pay fair market value. And The 49ers don't determine what's fair market. Brock Purdy doesn't determine fair market. It's not like he just woke up one morning and said, I think I want $53 million. No, he said, well, what are these guys getting paid? What are these bums that haven't done anywhere near what I've done getting paid? And you look at that and you say, okay, well, he should get more than these guys. I don't know if he should get more than these guys. And that's right where about he fit in. I mean, I think he was the seventh highest paid quarterback or something when it's all said and done. So, Josh Allen, Lamar, Mahomes, Dak, I forget which other ones are ahead of him, but that's about fair, especially with pay. And I think, like I said, this truly was a collaborative effort between Purdy and the 49ers to come to the table, get a deal done. He was showing that he was negotiating in good faith by showing up to the voluntary workouts that happened at the beginning of the month. And I really do think that showed he was here to mean business and he wasn't just talking fluff. Now, Mike, we talked about this to start the show. It's May 21st, and the 3 extensions the 49ers were looking to get done this offseason are done. This isn't like last year or the year before that or the year before that when it's late August and we're checking our phone every day, hoping for that notification to come in, or we're seeing so-and-so wants a trade, and it's getting messy and it's getting ugly. We don't know what's going to happen. We got fucking bull terriers on Twitter saying that they know for sure someone's gone to Pittsburgh. Did that change the 49ers philosophy? Did they get embarrassed the past couple of years? Did they get exhausted and raked over the coals? Or they said, you know what? We're not doing that anymore. Let's just do whatever we need to do to get these deals done before the preseason, before, OTAs and all that. You're muted.
I do think it was a little bit of both. I think that the Niners kind of did embarrass themselves with how the last couple, off-season negotiations went with even when it came down to guys like Nick Bosa, right? Like, this is a guy that everyone and their mother knew you weren't letting get away. Why wait so long, right? Like, this guy came the day before week 1. Like, that's absurd for a guy that for a fact you're going to extend, and a guy that you have on your team, and how his agent and his family are. They're not taking anything less than what they're supposed to get. So stop beating around the bush and get this shit done, right? The Niners kind of embarrassed themselves. They put their foot in their mouths with letting that drag on. And, I don't think it's a coincidence that Bosa's had his worst 2 seasons now as a Niner, right? It's not a coincidence. You go out there, you did it with Debo. Guess who had the worst season with Debo after the contract? It was Debo, right? They do the same thing with Ayuk. Now his was more injury related, but still the worst season because you let it drag on. I think they learned from it. I don't think they wanted to be looked at as the laughing stock in the year that the Super Bowl is supposed to be in their house. And so I think they wanted to go ahead and right the ship. Plus, if you're trying to sell 6% of your team, and that's going to cost a lot of money, only 6% of that team costs a lot of money. You can't look like you don't know what the hell you're doing as an organization. You can't look like you're not committed to anybody as an organization. You need to look like we have a plan. We are going to improve based off of what we saw last year. We are giving you the opportunity to buy low. That's how you sell, right? You want people to buy low. Here we are with the easiest schedule. We didn't make the playoffs. We came in after winning, what was it? Were we 6-11? I think the Niners were. Yeah, it's like, this is your opportunity to buy in right now. It's never going to be any lower, never going to be cheaper. The valuation's only going to go up. We're already making renovations to the stadium. Your contributions can contribute to that, and that's only going to make the value of this franchise and organization go up. So now's the time to buy in. And so how do we show those people that we mean business? Look at this. Look at what we're doing. Look at how we're going to operate. I'm sure that those investors knew that these deals were going to get done, that this wasn't going to drag out, that they weren't buying, that we aren't the Washington Commanders. We aren't the, I don't want to name a bunch of other organizations, but there are teams that just don't do things the right way.
The Bengals. Look at the Bengals.
There you go. Yeah. And so it's like, we're not them. So you can trust us. We're going to get this. Like, we know better. We're going to take care of business. Now there's a flip side that a lot of people were saying, I don't know what the name of the Premier League or whatever, like with the
soccer,
the soccer team got upgraded to whatever the bigger league is and all that stuff. And a lot of people were saying that Parag was kind of distracted and trying to build the value of that organization. I don't know how true any of that is, but if that's the case, the Niners should have also known better and employed someone else to help out here to take care of stuff at home. But, it's done. What's done is done. I's are dotted and T's are crossed, and now we're ready to focus, man. This team seems very, very charged up right now. You're seeing congratulations come from all across the league for Dak Purdy, from his teammates, former teammates, and things like that. And I didn't get to see the presser at all, but from what I'm hearing, he addressed this. He addressed the pressers. He addressed the media today, and it was all sunshine and rainbows. He seems and sounds like he's locked in. So I can't wait to break that down. Also,
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a good presser. You shared this tweet from Coach Yak about.
Oh yeah, you were asking who else was paid higher than him.
Yeah. So I'll bring it up here, wrap it around. Dak Prescott, still the highest paid quarterback, $60 million per year. Burrow at 55, Allen at 55, Love at 55, Lawrence at 55, Tua at 53. Is that 53.1? I seen that 53.1, and then Purdy at 53.
And also at 53 exactly is Jared Goff. He's also exactly 53. So you could flip it if you want to make it sound, oh, we only paid him top 7, or we paid him top. Like you could flip the numbers if you want.
All right. So tell me which of those quarterbacks above Purdy have accomplished more. Because at the end of the day, right? Yes, I understand Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, those are the only two, honestly, on that list that I would definitively say are better than Brock Purdy. But it's not always about talent. Dan Marino didn't win shit. Like, you could be as talented as possible. This is a game of roster building. So which of those quarterbacks have accomplished more? None of them.
I mean, Josh Allen doesn't even have a Super Bowl appearance.
He's an MVP. I mean, I guess he has that over Brock, but that's an individual stat. Like, that's not a, where has he taken his team? He's never made it out of January.
What's pretty cool is why Brock Purdy said that he wears 13s because of Dan Marino. And I think that he realizes, like, Dan couldn't get anywhere. They couldn't surround him with the right talent, right?
Right.
And I think Brock is like, hey, I need the talent around me. I'm not here to break the bank. I want us to continue to be good. I want to do what Dan couldn't do. You know what I'm saying? And so I like it. I really, really like it, man. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful deal for the Niners.
So some quotes from the press conference today I thought were interesting. He had set the OTAs as a soft deadline. He said, at the end of the day, I didn't want to lose sight of the main goal here. I wanted to be here from the jump. He said, we wanted to make sure we were working together with the organization to set everyone up for success. It wasn't about me just getting as much money as I could, which I thought was interesting. He talked about his agent, Kyle Strongen, and he said he did an amazing job. I'm very proud of him. I think we ended up where we needed to be. I'm extremely happy with where we ended, and I think the Niners are too. Throughout the contract negotiations, he stated that he asked himself, how can I still be present in the locker room? I didn't want to lose who I was throughout this process. It was a very insightful presser. He was asked at the end, what's one thing that you are going to buy now, whether it's for yourself, your wife, your mom, that maybe you couldn't before? He's like, there really isn't anything that comes to mind except I want to buy a fishing boat. And then that kind of drew a bunch of laughter from the crowd, but he was just saying how much he loves to fish and his wife is going to kill him for that. But
I could only think of one name to name a boat. The most beautiful name in the world, Jenny. Every time I hear someone talk about a fishing boat, I don't know why because he wanted a shrimping boat. It wasn't even a fishing boat.
It was, shrimp.
That's what comes to mind. But to Purdy's point, right? Like, I don't want this to drag out. I want what's best for the organization. I think that there are no truer words in everything else that he says in that entire thing, right? Because you don't have, like, you're the quarterback and you have to have some sort of rapport, right? With the people that you're throwing the ball to, the offensive linemen and all that stuff. You need to be in here and you need to be practicing. And so with the early absence of Brandon Ayuk and the forever absence of Debo, you know what I mean? And then you got Pearsall coming in here they've only got, a handful of games together. They need to work on that. They need to work on that camaraderie, that timing, that rhythm, that chemistry. And so I think it's really important. We got a new offensive line that's coming in here. People can say what they want to say, but the truth of the matter is that left guard is not going to be the same. And so we don't even know if the center is going to be the same because they may move him over to a different guard position and who's going to be a tackle. Like you just don't know how this offensive line is going to look when week 1 comes. And so I think there's going to be 2 new faces or at least 2 new faces in different positions on the offensive line. And so I think that's really important. What he said there, he wanted to do what was best for everyone, not just for himself.
All right. We have Matt here. Matt, how you doing?
Hello. Good. Had to take
Thanks
care of
for
some
joining
dad
us.
stuff. So,
Yeah, no
got
worries.
got the very little one. So yeah, little busy, but glad to be here with you guys.
Yeah. I don't know if we should talk about this. So you guys tell me to shut up. If not, I said this in the chat. I don't know if you guys noticed the picture Brock Purdy put out. I'm just going to say Jenna Purdy has a very strategically placed cake.
Oh, that girl looked like she's 6 months pregnant, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
So Mike, you didn't see it?
Pull up the picture, Mike. You'll know. You've had 4 kids, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you would know. You know when a lady, you'll know. I bet you'll know right away.
Just
now, I wanted to be clear that I don't know what she looks like without being pregnant, so I can't believe the Knicks shit the bed on this. Wow. They were up 12 late in the 4th. They let Halliburton hit what he thought was a 3-game winner, and he did the choking Reggie Miller sign to them in game 1. But his foot was on the line, so it sent it to overtime. Wow, and now there's .2. Oh. Yeah, you can see by the lines.
He already knows.
You can see by the lines on the dress. So when you wear something that's patterned like that, look underneath the cake. You can see how it's going up.
Yep.
There's a bump. There's a bump under there for sure.
Yep. 100%.
There's definitely a bump under there.
That was my thing too.
By the way, I'm just gonna say, as a baker, dude just got $181 million guaranteed over the next 5 years, and that's just a standard Walmart sheet cake. Like you just go to the window, buy a cake, ask them to put BP13 on there.
Exact. Who signed the contract though?
Broccoli.
Not his mom, who went and got that Walmart cake, brother.
That's just funny to notice, man. He's gonna have a bunch of little broccolinis running around pretty soon.
Well, listen, we don't need to give anybody any more ammunition on the Brock Purdy food stuff. That he already went viral for that white people taco thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ground beef or whatever, right?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with ground beef and a taco.
No, not at all.
Everybody settle down, okay? He just listen. That's white people tacos for sure. I agree, but let the man eat, man.
The main thing for white people tacos is the pre-bought or the pre-made taco shell that you get, like the forget what brand it is, Mission Bell, whatever the hell it is, that yellow box.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was El Paso.
El Paso, there you go.
El Paso,
yeah.
You got to get the pre-made, the hard taco shells. Yeah. Yep. And then it's like it's ground beef with like the what is it, the what's the brand? McCormick, the McCormick taco seasoning.
Taco seasoning packet.
Wow. And then you do cheddar cheese, you do lettuce, you do tomato, and then you do
salsa.
And then you do paste picante. You do the paste picante.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. See, that's how you do it. That's white people tacos, man. I grew up poor. I know what I'm doing. And you know what's funny is like I'll still get down on those just out of nostalgia.
Hell yeah.
If somebody makes them. And I live in San Diego. We got the best fucking tacos that you're gonna get outside of Mexico. Like we get the best tacos.
Right.
We like street tacos everywhere. Amazing.
I will say that tacos is more of a
hits.
West Coast thing. Maybe it's the Mexican culture. I don't know. That's more prevalent in the West Coast, but that is a West Coast down to Texas thing. It is not something that's here on the East Coast. Like when people say authentic tacos, it's the tortillas. It's chunks of meat and not ground up anything in there when you get them. And I don't know why, but lime is always prevalent. The flavor of lime is very prevalent in authentic
lime,
tacos.
Lime and cilantro.
Yeah, and cilantro.
You can get legit tacos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's I didn't even hoagies. I remember you came down here asking for hoagies, and you were like mind blown that that's not a thing over here. I'm like subs.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What's a hoagie?
Yeah, but see, so the thing is, like, what you guys call subs aren't subs either. So, like, a sub is the roll cut in half where it stacks. That's a sub, and a hoagie is where it's folded, and the meat is like kind of the meat and the toppings are wedged in between. But a sub is what
Okay.
I wanted, but it's like it's stacked like this.
So then tell me about the grinder.
I have no idea what you're talking about. That's a website?
Oh,
for
apparently
freaks?
no, it's a Boston thing.
It's a gay app.
They call it, no, not that. Not that grinder. But they call them, I guess they call them grinders in Boston.
What?
It's like the same. Yeah. 100%.
Why?
I don't know. Boston people are weird, man.
That's funny, man. That's funny. All right. Matt, we were just sharing our thoughts on Purdy's extension. What was your initial take when that notification hit your phone?
Good that it was done in May, and the more details that come out about it, the better it looks. Like, it looks like it's a very Parag-esque contract. Honestly, like the full details came out today, and it looks like he did more magic. Like his cap hit is like 30 million over the next 3 years or whatever. It's like,
right. It's like
listen, I'll put it this way. I'll put it this way. Grant Cohn was like shitting on this deal, and today he tweeted out an apology to Parag. He was like, "Oh, he's less on the cap than Sam Darnold is for Seattle." He's like, "My bad." Like, when you get that dude to change his mind and say something relatively positive about the team, like, you know that it's a good deal.
Brock Purdy has a lower cap hit than Sam Darnold each of the next 3 seasons. I owe John Lynch and Parag an apology. Wait, did Sam Darnold get a 3-year deal?
He did.
Wow. For some reason, I thought it was like a 1 to 2 year deal.
No, 3 years, 100 million, I think.
See, that's ass.
Yeah.
What has Sam ever done?
It's a lot.
Seagulls.
It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people taking some tweets back today. I see. Huh? Okay. All right. I'm with it. I am with it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So let's talk about this. Right. So this morning I wake up, taking my dogs to go take a shit, and I see a tweet from The Athletic's Diana Ursini, and it says, per source, the league is expected to ban the tush push today, at their annual owners meetings. And I'm like, oh shit, that's cool. Fuck that play, fuck the Eagles. So I'm hyped. I go to work. It's busy. I'm minding my business. I see a tweet come up. Tush push failed to ban. It will continue at least another year. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. I thought she said like it was a done deal. So I go up back on her page. Tweet's gone. The tweet is gone. She deleted it. Now, this is the same Diana Rossini who posted George Kittle's not at OTA due to a contract dispute. He's holding out. Kittle himself said your sources are wrong. He was at WrestleMania. He was there the very next day. This is the same Diana Rossini who is now saying that no other team was interested in trading for Brock when the 49ers put the feelers out there. Mike, I'm sure there's a couple other things that you've said in this chat or in the show that Rossini has reported on that I've shared the reporting, and you've said you don't buy it, and those takes have aged more and more like wine. I don't know if there's any that come to mind right now, but definitely.
It just anything pertaining to the 49ers, like everything she says is made up, and then it says per source. It's been like that nonstop, from draft coverage to player contracts and potential trades and all that stuff. Ayuk was supposed to be traded. That's the other one. Right after he signed the deal, Ayuk was supposed to be traded. Like, what the
God,
lady? What the fuck are you talking about?
That was a few months ago after the season.
Yeah, that shit drove me nuts. Because my whole thing was like, he can't even pass a physical. Nobody. What are you talking about?
Right.
You literally can't trade him if he can't pass a physical. Like, what? I don't understand. Listen, she's our version of Mary Kay Cabot. I'll just say that.
Is it Cabot? I always thought it was Cabot. That's funny. I've never heard her name actually pronounced.
I ain't gussying that shit up. No.
Got it. Well, anyway. That's some cowardly shit. That's some cowardly shit, Rossini. If you're going to say per source, just stand by it and just say, oh, I got wrong information. All right.
I will say, though, on the same hand that I was like, oh, man, Grant Cohn, he made an apology or whatever. But then, like, in the same breath, he's also like, they can cut him after 2 years. Like, oh, this is going to look good when they're able to cut him. And I'm just like, this fucking guy, man.
Well, that part's not false. They can cut them before April 1st in 2 years, but That doesn't mean that they're going to, if that
Right.
makes any sense. You know what I'm
but
saying?
like, you know what it is though? Like with him and with like a lot of other people, it's that whole situation where, like I told you, Mike, when we did the reaction show to it, this is a litmus test. This deal was a litmus test for people who are actually 49ers fans and people who just want to make content. And people like him, they root for the team to fail. They root for the drama. They root for, anything that they can latch onto to make some, overarching negative statement about the team because they know it's going to get the conversation going. They know that there are people in the chat that are always going to support him no matter what. And then they know there are people that are going to be like, you're absolutely out of your mind. And so they're like like straight up content merchants. So it is one of the things where I'm like, I don't really take it, with any seriousness, but at the same time, it's just like, man, can we not get just somebody to report on the 40? You got Lombardi who just huffs everything out of the 49ers back end that they do. Like, it was
Matt,
like there was no
Matt.
drama with Nick Bosa. There was no drama with Trent Williams.
Wait.
I'm like,
I got to stop you, buddy.
Okay.
Huffs everything out of their back end. Dude, I know you just got here, but we are way past the 8-minute mark. If you don't say what the fuck you want to say,
all right. Yeah.
You don't have to edit yourself.
All right. Cool. Yay, it's only 8 minutes for me. You know what I mean? No, dude, that dude literally human centipedes every fucking thing that comes out of the 49ers. He's trying to replace Matt Mayoko eventually when Matt Mayoko ages out. And, I don't know if he's trying to push him towards the AARP so that he can be like the number one 49ers cheerleader. But he said some shit today. Like there was no drama with the Nick Bosa and the Trent Williams. They were, what are you talking about? We didn't hear a lot of noise. And I'm like, the drama was they weren't ready to play and they either got injured or didn't. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, just be objective. Like the shit carried on into August, September. Like, right. Be real. Let's be honest. We can be honest and still like, I'm honest and I root for the team. You don't have to take everything they say and be like, more, please, master, more, please give me some. Like, he's just on his knees for the team. And I just want somebody to call it up the middle other than us. Like, can we get somebody who's actually credentialed in the building to like say things the way that they are? Right. It's kind of why I end up, I would say the closest people are like, I'm always a big fan of like Beatty and Kroc. Like I'm cool with them and like Haberman and Middlecoff like that, but that's like it. And it's just like, come on, man.
Habes is good. I basically have a general rule: read Grant, read Lombardi, somewhere in the middle.
It's in the middle.
Yeah, usually
somewhere way in the middle.
Right.
Somewhere way in the middle between those two.
Mike, I know you wanted to say something, but Matt brought up something. I have to show you guys this video. This is from Mandy on the internet. I don't know if you guys have seen this guy's stuff.
Oh, yes.
He's fucking hilarious.
Yes. This is amazing.
All right, ChatGPT, pretend you're Grant Cohn and give a reaction to Brock Purdy's new $265 million contract extension.
$265 million for captain checkdown. No arm, no pocket presence, no shot at winning a shootout. But sure, franchise quarterback. Shanahan is allergic to talent. Give him a robot who runs his script and dies quietly in January. He's thrilled. Lynch lit 3 first-round picks on fire for Trey Lance and is now overpaying a mascot to cover it up. And the fans, brainwashed. You could put a mannequin in a 49ers jersey and they'd chant MVP if Kyle told them to.
Okay, now do David Lombardi talking about Brock Purdy's contract extension.
This is a masterclass, a historic contract extension that cements the 49ers as the smartest organization in football. Brock Purdy, the most efficient quarterback in the league, is now locked in, and they still have cap space. That's unheard of. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch just pulled off a franchise-defining move. This is how dynasties are built. They've secured the most valuable asset in the NFL, elite quarterback play on a team-friendly deal. It's chess while the rest of the league plays checkers. Fans should be ecstatic. This is the blueprint. This is how you dominate the next decade.
Okay, so
priceless, man. That was good. Check out Mandy on the internet.
Was that really ChatGPT or did he just stage this whole thing?
I think Yeah, I think he does like text to speech, but it's part of the show. It's part of the show.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, that was incredible.
But could you imagine if it actually was Chat GPT and your opinions were so the same way every single time you said something that the AI is just like, oh yeah, this guy fucking hates this team, or like, oh yeah, this guy loves this team no matter what they do. But it does kind of feel like that, and the reason why it's so funny is because it rings so true.
It was hilarious. He's had a few really good clips like that.
No, that's
Good stuff.
incredible. I like it.
Good
yeah.
stuff.
All right.
So
go ahead.
are we officially ready to, I mean, I've already done it, but I want to ask you guys now because you guys still kind of supported through my Rossini hate. Are you guys ready to unfollow and just ignore everything that she says, or does she stay on your followings list until she says something offensive to you? Because there was a guy
I don't follow her.
I was going to say there was a guy that
I only
hated
get her.
for a long
I only
time,
get her
but I never
peripherally.
unfollowed. Okay.
I only get her peripherally through other people that share what she says. For what it's like, I want to say I was completely right about that Ricky guy who had no fucking sources and just said shit, and like completely the same thing. The new account that I'm onto that I really dislike like that just says stupid shit is ML Football.
Right.
Oh, that's been proven to be fake though. They busted that a long time
That
ago.
person says the dumbest shit, and I'm just like, okay.
It's like the old Dov Kleeman or whatever.
Oh,
that's the person I was talking about. I said I didn't like him, but I never
apparently
unfollowed
that's not even the guy though.
Recently.
Apparently he sold the account.
He sold the account, yeah. So I have another name for you guys, and it's very, very big in the 49ers
Ryan
community.
Clark. No, I'm just kidding.
No. This is a popular person.
RG3.
Through the lies, has actually acquired some sources. Like I know for a fact that players will respond directly to this
Jet
account.
Scout, is he?
No, it's 49ers Sports Take Talk.
Oh yeah,
it's
he has
very,
no sources
very
either.
big, popular. Well, no, so I can't say he doesn't have sources because his page is big enough that players reply to him. So and like he gets his information now like from the responses, and then like we'll draft the next couple of tweets from it. But that is another fraud that's out there. Huge account. Huge account on 49ers Twitter. Zach's looking like,
wait.
who the hell are you guys?
No,
talking
never
about?
mind. This is not the person.
I said that it's 49ers Sports, 49ers.
Oh,
what is it?
Talk.
It's the sport. It's the white with it's the white with the blue symbols and shit inside. You guys know what I'm talking. I'm sure you've seen it.
I saw a tweet from him and it was like, I tried to tell y'all Purdy's getting the extension, and the tweet that he was like taking a screenshot of was just a picture of Purdy like, greatness is coming or some shit. It's like some generic ass shit. By the way, I want to say. I asked ChatGPT to give me Grant Cohn, act like Grant Cohn. This shit's pretty fucking spot on, man. I don't know if you guys care to view it, but it's pretty fucking spot on.
Yeah, let's see.
I mean, it's like, do you want it in video style? And I'm like,
let's
sure.
See.
So
this is going to be great.
Opening screen, the Brock Purdy extension. The 49ers just made a huge mistake. Cut to Grant sitting in his usual spot, slightly leaning into the mic, smirking. All right. Let's talk about the 49ers dropping a $265 million on Brock Purdy like he's the second coming of Joe Montana. Are you kidding me? Pauses, tilt head. This guy went from Mr. Irrelevant to Mr. Overpaid overnight. 5 years, $53 million per year. That's more than Mahomes. Mahomes! I just want to remind you, Mahomes has 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Purdy, 1 Super Bowl loss, and a season full of checkdowns. And let's not forget, Brock looked very human in 2024. Threw some picks, took some sacks, got banged up, but instead of saying, let's see one more year, Jed York and John Lynch pull out the gold-plated checkbook and say, here, Brock, take all the money. You deserve it because vibes. Yeah, great vibes, dude. This isn't about
This is
hating
Grant
Brock.
Cohn.
It's about basic team building. You don't hand a top-of-the-market contract to a guy who hasn't proven he can carry you. You do that for a quarterback you build around. The Niners built around Brock. Now they're going to have to cut around him to fit the cap. Bye-bye Ayuk? Greenlaw? Who knows? The window just got narrower, and the pressure on Purdy through the roof. And we know how pressure works on quarterbacks in this system. Ask Jimmy Garoppolo. Congrats to Brock Purdy. You beat the system. Congrats to the 49ers. You're paying BMW prices for a Honda Civic. Let's just hope it doesn't stall on the way back to the playoffs.
That's funny. That is like Grant Cohn.
That's pretty fucking good.
Minus like one or two like weird details, like the Dre Greenlaw thing, because
Right,
he's already
right.
gone. Like that is like spot on.
It gave me
That
like
is absolutely
article
phenomenal.
style. It
Yeah.
gave me video style. Shrugs exaggeratedly. Mocks sincerity. That's pretty funny. I've never used ChatGPT
Now,
before.
I do think that it's good that the 49ers kind of did like they kind of did build themselves an out. But the thing is, are they going to take it? Like if Brock Purdy is more like 2022, 2023 Brock Purdy, then they're not. Even if he's 2024 Brock, but I can't even see that. They were so injured last year. Like, I don't know, man. It's just a weird thing. Like I always said, I'm for the front of the jersey, not the back. So like if he's not performing, then he can go. If he's performing, let him stay. I don't know why this is such a hard concept for like a lot of these guys. And it's just like everybody with their knee-jerk reaction. It's just like, man, we can't have like 10 minutes where we could just be like, they got this done in May. That's a good thing.
Right.
You
At
know?
the very least, we can applaud that and then move forward. I mean, we've said it for the past 3 months. If you thought Brock Purdy was the main issue for the 49ers last year, you were watching. You know, it's like you're watching the stats afterwards. But my initial reaction was great. Now, I wish you got him some protection, but please do it next year. You know, it's like we get 1 7th-round guard or tackle, whatever, and Colby, and that's it, and some pieces from the bargain bin.
Yeah, I don't think they have a choice. They have to do it next year because at some point, it's going to be Trent Williams last season, right? And Trent Williams did not look like Trent Williams last year, and we said it from day one. If he comes back and looks more like Trent Williams, fantastic. But at the end of the day, he's already 35, 36 years old. Like, you're going to have to replace him at some point. And my thinking was like, why not do it this year while he's still in the building? That way, next year, you have a guy that could slide right in as a replacement, and then you don't have to play catch up. But they're going to have to do next year what they did for the defensive line this year and just draft the entire offensive line with their first 4 picks. So hopefully some of that can be mitigated with the $80 million in dead money coming off the cap and, you know, maybe a little more rollover or whatever, and they can get like a free agent or two. But even then, it's just like, you can't really count on that because you have to compete price wise with other teams. It's just, you know, in the medical field, I would not advise a patient of mine to wait until the infection becomes septic before they go and get an antibiotic. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like the 49ers line is well on its way to becoming a serious problem.
Yeah. It's just, I part of me thinks that they think we don't have to draft a replacement for Fred Warner because we have Spencer Burford here. I hope I'm wrong, but I really do think that they're like, we feel comfortable enough with Burford. Hopefully I'm wrong.
You know, the funny thing for me is just they think we don't have eyes. Like they talk up Jake Brendel and Colt McKivitz like we didn't watch them last year.
Right.
Just like, come on, guys. Like, come on.
All
you
right.
can get away. You can get away with telling your kids that Santa Claus ain't real, but we're all adults here. You know what I mean? Or you can get, you know what I mean? Or telling your kids
We're telling
that
that he is real. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I do have a little bit of, not so much pushback, but objectivity, right? We don't watch offensive lines around the league as closely as we watch our guys. And I'm starting to believe when I go back and watch some of these other games and watch how our terrible defensive line was still getting pressure last year, it's like maybe they aren't as like, do we want better? Yes. But when you look around the league, they weren't bottom half of the guys like we feel that they are. You get what I'm saying? And so I think that's what the Niners are looking at in the grand scheme of things. Like, yeah, but we could do a lot worse. Just look at those other 17 teams that he was better than at his respective position. Do you get what I'm saying? And so it's not that they're trying to, like, appease us with saying, no, they're actually really good. It's like there's a lot worse out there, and this is good enough to win. Like, Mahomes was under pressure consistently and constantly all year long, and no one talks about their offensive line the way that they talk about the Niners' offensive line.
Yeah, but they get to
it's
hold.
kind of my point. That's
Can I push
yeah,
back?
that's true.
My pushback
Yeah,
is,
please.
It's similar to, and I'm going to make a metaphor here, the guy that goes to the gym and works on upper body every single day. and his legs are not toothpicks, but maybe bamboo straws. And he's thinking, but there's toothpicks out there. Look at mine. I got some nice bamboo straws. It's like, well, I mean, yeah, I guess it's all relative, but at the end of the day, you still got tiny little legs. It's like you should work out everything. And I think my main anger, my main focal point of anger where this resonates with the 49ers is you just don't address it. It's like, I understand not the rest of the offensive lines in the NFL are great, and there's not 5 good offensive linemen for each team, right? But how do you know if you don't even try? Like, they've drafted 3 linemen in the past 2 to 3 years. 2 of which, I mean, one was this year, one didn't make the team, and the other is Dominic Puni. So I just wish they would at least throw stones at it. And then if it didn't work out, fine. You know what? Hey, at least we've been trying to address the position. But you can't tell me that it's a huge issue, we can't fill it, but we also can afford to spend a 3rd-round pick on Jake Moody because that was the biggest need at the time. And, you know, you're telling me Jordan Watkins couldn't have been an offensive lineman? Jordan James couldn't have been an offensive lineman? Curtis Rourke couldn't have been you know, it's like, I get you took Connor Colby, but it's like, fuck, man. Like, some of these picks I'm looking at, I'm like, you really couldn't have taken an offensive lineman here? Like,
but
I don't know.
Kickers also get the most points for your franchise in the season. So it's like, I hear you.
They're founded they're undrafted. 7th round. 3rd round? Which 3rd round kicker has worked?
No, that's fair.
Sebastian Janikowski is like the only highly drafted kicker that I can even think of in NFL history that has worked. At least in my lifetime.
Oh, that has worked, yeah.
Or look at what the 49ers did this year. Like, on a team that has, you know, a couple of good running backs, or let's just say 2, right? With Garendo and McCaffrey. You draft another running back in the 4th round on a team that has some wide receivers. And, you know, Demarcus Robinson is not like a number 1, but he's a decent wide receiver. Mm-hmm. He's going to miss a couple games, whatever. Ayuk will come back eventually. But then those are the guys that aren't even there. And then you still have Pearsall and Jennings, and they draft 2 wide receivers. And then the most hype guy that everybody's talking about out of rookie camp is an undrafted free agent wide receiver. Like, you couldn't have, like, just put a little bit more.
Right.
I'm not even mad at the first 5 picks or whatever that were all defense. Like, cool, man. Like, we needed those players. Like, it's a position of need. But then the first time Shanahan gets to fucking pick somebody, it's a goddamn wide receiver. And it's like, come on, man. Right. Like, fuck, dude. Like, can we not do something? Like, and this is before they paid Brock Purdy, but I'm just like, come on, man. You gave $20 million to a backup tight end who, like, has even caught a touchdown pass in his career.
And the logic was, well, he's replacing Hughes. And then you bring Juice back.
Juice back. They've touched every position group on offense other than the offensive line, essentially, except for the 7th round. They even drafted a quarterback who's not even going to be on the fucking roster.
I'm telling you, Kyle's like, well, hey, we're paying 5 linemen worth in Trent. That's it. That's all the money we've allocated to the offensive line. It just happens that 4 or 5 of the guys' money is going to one guy, so we have to make the 5th guy spread out over 4 guys.
And I know what it is. Well, I know what it is. They're gun shy. They're gun shy on the offensive line because Puni looks like he's made it, right? Like, he looks like a guy. Who else have they drafted that's worked?
I think Aaron Banks worked for 2 seasons. I mean, 2 seasons. Yeah, he did. 2 of his 4.
I think a lot of that was both. I'm forgetting the center's that was Mack.
Preston. Oh yeah, Alex Mack.
Was Alex Mack, and then it was John Feliciano. It was John Feliciano, and then Trent Williams. You have 2. You're being anchored by 2 really good veterans, or in that case 3, but 2 at a time. And then you go to Jake Brendel, who's not going to fucking help you out. And then you have Trent Williams, who's not injured, so he doesn't look good. But Banks was a 2nd round pick that didn't really work out. You have Mike McGlinchey, who they let walk because he didn't necessarily pan out the way that they wanted, and he was a 1st round pick. So, like, maybe they're a little gun shy to put those. And I don't know what it is about this team. They do not draft well in the early rounds. Like, traditionally, they have a couple of good ones, but, like, man, I just don't think this team drafts well at all.
I think they're 50% in the 1st round. I think they're about 50% in the 1st round. They've been here 8 years now.
So Solomon Thomas, scrub, failed.
Right.
Mike McGlinchey,
Well, no. Don't skip Reuben Foster. They did trade up. To
Okay,
MVP
Reuben
with the first
Foster,
round pick.
X.
But I think that's a plus. No, I'm not going to give that an X. Production on the field was good. Now, other issues made him have to go. So
how much production did he have though? He really only played for us for like a season and a half because he couldn't stop like beating his women up.
Or sneaking him into hotels, yeah. But I mean,
Right.
he was good while he was on the field. I'm talking about like as far as evaluating the talent.
If you spend a first round trade up back into the first round and the guy only lasts a season and a half here, that's not a good player.
And there's a reason he fell. There's a reason he fell.
Yeah.
Like that. The
Right.
character
That's a reason that he
there.
fell to the end of the first round because the character concerns were there and they took a chance, right? And then you have Nick Bosa win. I mean, Mike McGlinchey was a loss.
Wait, no.
Mike
that's where I
McGlinchey
want to
was a
stop.
loss.
You get 4 seasons out of him, 5 seasons out
You
of
got
him.
4 seasons, and the only reason you didn't get the 5, and the only reason you didn't get more is because the market for him. Remember, so you know how we talked about earlier,
But
the
hold on,
Niners
but
competed against themselves.
Hold on.
There was a free agency market for tackles, and we saw the contract he got. The Niners were never going to pay him that money ever.
Why not?
Why
not?
Because they didn't have the money to do
No,
it. That's why.
That's not why. No, that's not why. What do you mean? They've had the money to sign every single other player they've wanted to sign.
Do you know how much money Mike McGlinchey got?
Not Buckner.
I don't think you guys realize how much money Mike McGlinchey got. The Niners were never going to pay that.
He got over $100 million, didn't he?
He got a really nice contract, bro. They weren't paying that money to him, dude.
Why not?
If he was worse, they would have extended him. Is kind of my point. He was the best tackle available. It's also about timing. He was the best free agent tackle that go round. It's not about whether or not he was good.
His average salary per year was $17.5 million.
They weren't doing that though. That's our point. So that means between him,
that's a terrible point. If he was
that's
Trent
a great
Williams,
point. What are you talking about?
If he was Trent Williams, they would have paid more.
Between him and Trent Williams, they're going to be paying over $40 million for 2 offensive linemen. The Niners aren't doing that with a team with McCaffrey, Warner, Kittle. They're not doing that, bro. What are you talking about?
They just did it with wide receivers.
Those wide receivers are in the equation, though. You can't exclude them
here anymore.
Okay, all right.
So
let's move on. Let's call.
No.
Up.
No, hold on. My point is, if he had lived up to the 11th overall pick or whatever the fuck he was, 9th overall, whatever it was, they would have re-signed him. They didn't because the market might have overvalued Mike McGlinchey, but the 49ers didn't. If they saw the same value in Mike McGlinchey that the free agent market saw, and again, outside looking in, not in the building with him every day, then they probably would have re-signed him, but they didn't.
I think
they had no problem.
They would have thought about it a lot harder for sure if he played up to that draft status and value. They would have made him a lot harder to let him walk out the door. But Denver threw a lot of money at him. I think more than any of us thought he was going to get.
Trent Williams is averaging $27.5 million a season. You know what I mean? Like,
I said they're going to be but that's what I said. I said they're going to be paying over $40 million a year for 2 tackles. No team is doing that.
But what I'm saying is, what do you mean? If he was worth $17.5 million, the 49ers would have paid it. He wasn't. You think Mike McGlinchey lived up to his draft position? You're muted, Mike.
I don't know if you missed what I said right in the beginning. I said that it was also timing. He was a free agent, and then it became a bidding war. The Niners weren't going to pay the money he was going to get on the open market. That's exactly what I said. If they extended him a year earlier, then we would have been okay. They didn't do it because he was coming off of an injury. They weren't going to extend him then. So by the time he became a free agent, and I know, Zach, you said you wanted to move on, so I went on mute for a reason.
Go on the list.
Right. So, but my point was, it was also about timing. He was indeed the best tackle that cycle, and the Niners couldn't pay him that money during that cycle that he got from other teams, and that was all my point was. That's over $40 million a year, and just 2 offensive linemen on a team that's completely loaded. No other lineman got $17 million. Not a single. Linemen got that.
Would you rather have them paid Mike McGlinchey the contract that he got, or would you rather them, with the benefit of hindsight, of course, would you rather them have gone out and got Javon Hargrave like they did?
I would have at the
They
time.
paid
I would've
Hargrave more, by the way.
Right at the time, we needed more help on the defensive line. Like McKivitz isn't as bad as McGlinchey was, so they made the right decision. Like we can't.
No, McGlinchey's a better tackle than McKivitz is.
Oh,
But
Jesus
for the price
Christ.
disparity, I think they'd rather pay McKivitz the pennies he's getting.
Wait, but dude, Mike, if you think that McKivitz is better than McGlinchey, then you're just proving my point that he's a failed first-round pick.
I'm talking about in totality, like what Zach just said. Like we're talking about price, production. It's all inclusive. Like we're talking about everything in totality. The right decision was to move on from him in that season. It's kind of like that. That's just the point that I wanted to drive home. That's all. I'm not saying that
4 years worth of starts out of a player, you chalk that up as a dub and move on. In my opinion, even if they weren't the best, you still were able to get 4 years of starts. I mean, that's what 54 games or whatever. If my math isn't doing it right,
I don't know. You're talking about a guy who is still super young, and I think that if Mike McGlinchey was like the man, then you pay Mike McGlinchey, and then maybe you like don't let Trent Williams hold out on you, and you like move on from Trent Williams eventually, where you move him while there's because you got to think about age and stuff too. So they let a guy who was 26 at the time walk out the door because they didn't want to give him 17 and a half, and then turn around and give a dude who was 35 at the time 27.5. Like, it's not just about the money. So I don't know. I think I would call, because it's a first round and you didn't re-sign him to a second contract, I think that's a fail. Nick Bosa, win. Yeah. We all agree on that, right?
That's a good metric to measure it by, whether or not they gave him a second contract. Because that is a good. People will say, "Will this guy get a second contract on this team?" Like that's a good way to measure whether or not a first round pick was successful, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that. So if we do it based off of that, so we only have one win so far. Right. I like that.
It would be Nick Bosa. So that would be the first
Ayuk.
hit.
Oh, sorry.
You're
still going down the
list.
list.
Is a hit. Ayuk is a hit. Javon Kinlaw, not a hit. Javon Kinlaw's a fail. 2 very injury-plagued seasons. They didn't pick up his 5th year.
No.
And they let him walk. So they didn't even pick up a 5th year on Javon Kinlaw.
Or
and then let him walk. No, they picked up McGlinchey's 5th year, and it was like
so. Did they?
They did. Yeah,
they did,
he got $11 million for that season. But like that, so Javon to me was not a hit. Ayuk a hit. 2021, the biggest bust in football history, in my opinion. Trey Lance, the biggest bust in NFL history. No one played less for the amount of capital given up to get him. 2022, they didn't have a first-round pick. 2023, no first-round pick. 2024, they still no first-round pick, huh? No, I think
no.
Ricky.
No,
Ricky Pearsall.
This year was
Ricky Pearsall. 2024, Ricky Pearsall. Yeah. To be determined. And then this year, Michael Williams, obviously to be determined. They do not have a good track record. Their second-round track record is pretty shit, too.
Right.
Their third round is really bad. I think Fred Warner is probably one of the only ones that you could look at.
That's why it's funny.
I can't count 2024 because they played, like, a lot of them played well. But, like, the jury is still out. But, like, second rounders, we got, like, Dante Pettis in there. And we got Aaron Banks in there who didn't play. Third round, obviously, we have Joe Williams and CJ Beathard and whatever, whoever else. Freaking all the running backs, right?
CJ Beathard would be counted as a win, just so like in my like that's a backup quarterback that played significant games and got a contract and is still in the league. A backup that you let walk because you couldn't afford. I think that's a win for a quarterback.
Hey, I hate to burst your bubble, Steve-O. Trey Lance is the worst bust in NFL history. Worst bust. Couldn't get on the field for Cowboys either. And where's he going to play? CFL? I mean, he's with the Chargers right now, but he's not going to play. We have Trey Sermon, who was a third rounder. Ty Davis Price was a third rounder. It's really bad. Warner, I think, is probably their 1 third-round pick that was really, really good. 4th round, maybe a little bit better. 5th round is, I think, their money round. And round 6 and 7 is just like whatever you get, I guess. I can't call anybody after like round 4 a bust, but I don't think this team drafts very well.
Well,
So
what's funny is most of these early picks are busts, like we just went through. But then, like rounds 4 through 7, it's like, miss, Hall of Fame, miss, Hall of. It's like these fucking blue chip Hall of Fame likely players are just like hit. Kittle, Warner, Juwan and Purdy are like legit NFL, top talent players. Like we got 1,000 yards basically out of Juwan last year. You think he finished 22 yards shy because the Cardinals wanted to pick fights with them.
Yeah.
Purdy just got, 181 million guaranteed. So yeah, it's hit and misses, but some of the hits later on are like, holy shit. Where did you
so
that?
It's like Kittle was a 5th rounder, Diamador Lenore's a 5th rounder, Talanoa Hufanga was a 5th rounder. I think Dre Greenlaw was like a 5th rounder.
Yeah.
Like the 5th round is like where they make their money. That's where they made a lot of their money.
We got a super chat from our guy Sean. Mike, I'll let you read this one since it's from your guy.
Oh, Cam Latu.
Michael Kanan is saying, "Hi, Mike. What's up, buddy? Hey, Kanan." He says, "Yeah, I don't get the O-line stuff. Plus, the wide receivers we are getting with these picks are garbage. Come on, even Cowing. Oh, yeah, come on, even Cowing. Mediocre. These wide receivers are wastes of picks. Be blessed." I don't agree at all on the wide receivers. It's tough to get on the field when you have Brandon Ayuk and Debo and Juwan Jennings. There's no, barring significant injuries, those guys aren't touching the field.
7th round pick, by the way.
Right, but barring injury to those 3 guys simultaneously, those guys aren't getting on the field. Right, we had a veteran that we all really, really liked, and he didn't even get a lot of targets. What's my man's name with the long hair? He's got the dreads.
Chris Conley?
Oh God, Conley. Yes, Chris Conley. Right, he was a good wide receiver, good routes, reliable hands, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You're just not getting targets because you're not outdoing Debo, you're not outdoing Ayuk, you're not doing George Kittle. You're not getting targets over those guys, Juwan Jennings. So all those wide receivers, we can't call them mediocre. It's just opportunity hasn't presented itself. The reason we like guys like Isaac Orindo is because the opportunity came and he took advantage of it. Those other guys just flat out aren't getting opportunities. Our wide receiving core, other than last year, was really, really healthy. That was the first time Ayuk missed games. Was last year, right? You add Ayuk to the core and make him healthy all last year, then Pearsall coming back and all that stuff. We don't have any idea what other guys are doing on this team. You know what I'm saying? Like we might not even have an evaluation on Pearsall or expectations of Pearsall if Ayuk is healthy all year long. So it's just not fair to say that they're bust or mediocre. It's just inconclusive. Like we just don't know. That's my take on it. I would love to hear what you guys' thoughts are.
It's a little early, and people listen. Fans are so quick to crown people too. Like Jalen Hurd is like the biggest. Let's crown him. Or Trent Sherfield. Remember that shit? Little AB or whatever. Like everybody's so excited. One person does one thing, dude. Maybe they just don't look very good at practice. Like Cowing coming out of college was like a go route guy. Like he's running fly. He's running fly routes. That's what he's running, flies and slants. And so give the guy time. Yeah, Danny, same thing. It's like give these guys time to get some coaching in the NFL and figure out, Ian Sharp, don't even bring up that name. I don't want to see that name ever again. I'm a Michigan fan, but take that shit out of here. I cannot believe that's the one thing that's confusing though. It's Ronnie Stonehands Bell got so many opportunities when other people couldn't see the field.
Yep. You got another super chat from Sean, member for 9 months, Mike. I'll put you up on the screen.
If Pearsall works out this year, that's a hit. CJ sucks. Who's CJ?
Beathard.
Oh.
Loses the rock skipping contest to Nick bounce past the ball mullet.
Wow. At least Parag.
Martini.
Wait. Did Beathard lose his job to Nick Mullins?
He did.
Yeah, he did.
I thought it was an injury.
No.
That Raiders start was a bench? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. At least Parag Martini started settling contracts before the playoffs.
But people want to talk about Brock Purdy not having a good arm. Nick Noodle Arm Mullins had the worst arm I've ever seen in an NFL quarterback.
Yep.
By the way,
he
another
was Chad
instance-
Pennington all over.
Dude, another instance where the fan base was ready to just like crown somebody. After that Raiders win, they were like, fuck, dude, we got the guy. Nick Mullins is so good, bro. And then it was just like, no, he's not.
Yeah, that was tough.
Nope, he's really bad. So
It's wild how that can happen for a night though. Like just play possessed. I mean, look at Lynn Sanity and his run, Jeremy Lin in the NBA.
Mhm.
Like, dude just got possessed and just played very good basketball. Dude made probably tens of millions of dollars over the course of a couple of years, but it's just wild how that can happen. And then you just come back down to earth, and it's like, you were never really that good. You just had some good spots.
Off topic, my favorite Jeremy Lin moment wasn't even with the Knicks when he was doing that Lin Sanity thing. It was when he was with the Lakers and he waved off Kobe to do an ISO move and hit a jumper. And then Kobe talked to him afterwards and was like, bro.
Tell
and
me
he was
what
like,
you
look,
saw.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, dude. Hilarious. And Kobe's
Yeah.
like, okay, motherfucker. Like, you're lucky you made that shot. Like,
He's got the ISO up top, and Kobe's calling for the ball with like 10 seconds left.
And he just said, no. He said, clear out.
And he made it.
I'm sure Kobe was like, what the fuck?
Right. He just walked over, put his arm around him, and you can totally read his lips like, you got to tell me what you saw.
Yeah. He's like, what's up, little bro? What happened? Yeah.
Yeah, that
Terrible.
was hilarious. All right. Sean's $2 super chat. Hey, but Nick could describe the play to you. Mike, do you understand this?
Well, because that's what he did, right? He would go up and tell you exactly what the play was at the post-game presser. Like, you look terrible
Mullins.
out there. Yeah. You look terrible out there, but what happened? And he would tell you like like he knew the playbook. Remember that was his thing, right? Like he knew the playbook better than even Kyle Shanahan or the starting quarterbacks. That was like his like claim to fame. Like, who gives a fuck, dude? You suck when you're out there. Sorry if Kanan is still listening, but like you're terrible, bro. Like we don't care if you know exactly what you were supposed to do. You couldn't execute. Get the fuck off the field.
Right.
You can't execute. Those days are long behind us, though, and so that makes me appreciate Brock Purdy in this contract even more.
Yeah, I mean, Brock Purdy will execute for sure. Yeah, that was the thing. And by the way, Nick Mullins, the most Neanderthal-looking motherfucker. Like, dude looked like the guy who would cheat off people in math. You know what I'm saying? Like, he looks like... just concentration phase, or like he smells something that smells really bad. Like he's just like
he has this Owen Wilson, I got lemons in my mouth face.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
My lips are too big to do it, but it's like.
Let's talk about Fred Warner and Fred Warner's extension before we wrap up here. Let me pull this up here. Let me change the banner. We'll do this one for now. Fred Warner. Oh, shit. I didn't pull it up.
Hey, Collie, Moody, Mullins, and Cam Scatabo, all like long lost brothers, bro. They're the same people.
That's funny. Okay. So this breaks May 19th, so 2 days ago. This is per NFL Network. That makes 3 massive extensions for the 49ers this offseason. San Francisco and linebacker Fred Warner have agreed to terms on a 3-year, $63 million contract extension that includes $56.7 million guaranteed. NFL Network insiders Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafolo reported 28-year-old pact with the Niners elevates him from second in per year annual salary for inside linebackers to first, coming in at $21 million per year, just ahead of the Ravens' Roquan Smith at $20 million. Warner had 2 years remaining on his contract, but nothing guaranteed, was in need of a new deal as he was set to enter the 2025 season with a $29.2 million cap hit. Long been one of the league's best linebackers, yada, yada, yada. What's your guys' take on this extension? Besides, hell yeah.
Mine is short, so I'll go first here. 88% guaranteed tells me everything I need to know. I think this is the highest percentage contract the Niners have ever given out. I know Brock Purdy made history with the biggest contract the 49ers franchise have ever given out. I don't know if we'll ever see an 88% fully guaranteed contract in our life. And I'm not talking about like the rookie contracts that are fully guaranteed. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about extensions. I've never seen an 88% extension contract for the 49ers. I can't find one. Brock Purdy's isn't even close to that. Like, it's just George Kittle, not close to that. So that kind of tells you, like, right, we like George Kittle, we love George Kittle, but the age and the injuries, right? Like, this guy played through the bad ankle and all that stuff. The Niners know for fact what they have in this guy, and they believe that there's still room for improvement. 88% tells you that. They're locking this guy up. They're locking him down. That was a beautiful thing to see. I'm done.
Yeah. I'm hyped by this. That ratio of guaranteed is insane. This also makes Fred Warner the second highest paid linebacker for the second time in his career, which is just fucking awesome to be able to say. When he got his first extension, he was the highest paid linebacker at the time. Now he is once again the highest paid linebacker. So really, really cool for Fred Warner. Couldn't deserve it, and still somehow underpaid. Like, for all he does, you know, it's like Steph Curry getting paid whatever he's getting paid by the Warriors, LeBron getting paid whatever he's getting paid by the Lakers. The value he brings to that team, to those teams, it's you can't kind of quantify that in a dollar amount. But what he does, I mean, he truly is, in my opinion, the one linebacker with no weakness. He's good in coverage. He's good in run. He's good in blitzing. Like, he's just an elite linebacker and the best. And I'm so happy the 49ers took care of him. Warner, Kittle, and Bosa, 3 49ers that are current that should never wear another team's jersey. There are plenty more, but those three for sure should never be allowed to wear another team's jersey. Matt?
No, I'm with you on that. You know, I think that, listen, Warner is my favorite 49ers player right now. Like, I've well established that for a long time. I love Fred Warner, and I have for, since he's been here. I'm real partial to linebackers. Prior to Fred Warner, my favorite 49ers player was Patrick Willis. I just love the dudes that hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just love, and the linebacker position is just so fun to watch. You know, when you see a guy just bearing down, like the thing that lives rent free in my head was Fred Warner against the Rams, all the way across the field and just lawn darts himself and just spears the shit out of that guy. Just amazing play. I just love that he came out of college as a safety. They converted him. He stepped up right away. I remember when he wore 48, that ugly ass number. He wore 48 his rookie year, and then went to the 5-4 and just, damn, dude, like, I don't know. I'm so glad that this got done. And I was of the opinion, like, dude, we talked about on the show, he's got 2 years left. Like, there's no rush. The 49ers were like, fuck that. We're taking care of our boy. Like, he did us a solid last season. He played, however many weeks on that fractured ankle, had no help, still racked up 131 tackles, still was out there making plays left and right. And they took care of Fred Warner. And this is just, listen, I couldn't be happier. The man deserves it. Fred Warner, hats off. I'm glad that he's going to be hopefully a 49er for life. He's 28, 29. So this will carry him to his age, like 32, 33 season. I really hope that they extend him one more time.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want him to, I'm with you. I don't want him to wear any other number. He's kind of like, I wrote off George Kittle, and, Mike, we've talked about this before, but like at this point, like, I don't even care if they're kind of shitty. Like, just keep them here. Like, at this point, just keep them here until they retire. Like, there's no point in sending them anywhere else,
I have this, Mike, did you want to say something?
I did. I just wanted to talk about the timing of this contract. So I don't know. Okay.
No,
so he's the highest paid linebacker, right? It doesn't distinguish between inside or outside. He's the highest paid linebacker. I think the Niners were genius to do this now instead of next year. So Matt and I did talk about there's really no rush. We don't have to go out there and get it, right? But like, watch this, right?
Inside.
No. That's the position, but I think he's the highest paid linebacker overall.
Yeah, highest paid inside linebacker. Oh,
right.
But
if
there's like a weird, the only thing that I can think of is that the weird teams that run like 3-4, that the outside linebacker is actually like an edge rusher, which is like,
right.
So yeah. So he might not be that, but I don't consider that to be the same thing, though, to be honest.
Right. While we don't, they still set a record, right? And so check this out, right? Contracts up just this year that we're probably going to make this a lot harder for the Niners. TJ Watt, number 1. His contract ends 2025. Like, this is the year. This is his last year in the contract. He's gonna blow this contract out the water because he's outside linebacker, but he's an edge rusher. He's gonna get top money, right? Arden Key is another one. Khalil Mack, who's at the end of his career, so you don't have to worry about him. But Alex Anzalone, right? These are guys that are going to go out there and get big time money. Quincy Williams, not Quinnen, but Quincy Williams is also done. Yeah, Arden Key's contract is up in 2025. Because he's an edge rusher, right? Like, his contract is going to be a lot higher than the standard interior linebacker. So it's these are things that the Niners are trying to get ahead of.
I don't think that they consider those linebackers in terms of like pay, though. In terms of position, I think they count them as edge rusher, like edge itself.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. But okay, so even if you exclude that, right? Tremont Edwards, he's going to be a guy whose deal is coming up, not this year, but next year. Right. Patrick Queen, another guy whose contract is coming up, not this year, but next year. Azeez Al-Shaair is another guy who's going to be getting you don't want Fred Warner to be on the market at the same time as those guys if we waited another year. Right. And so let's go ahead and get this shit done now, and we don't have to worry about any of these other inside linebackers getting those deals, and we're competing against all of that. Let's lock this shit down now. We don't have to worry about it. Malik Harris from the Steelers, he's another guy that's going to be getting a contract in 2026, right? Roquan Smith is 2027, but again, those are games that you don't want to be playing. Let's lock him up now. Let's make him happy right now. He's going to brag and boast about it. And while those guys go out there and beat him by $2 million a year, we're going to be sitting back like we got the best linebacker in the NFL, and it's a steal. This is when it really pays dividends, when you can get ahead of the curve and not stay behind it.
So I wanted to read just some portions of this Athletic article, and then we can start to wrap up here. Title is Fred Warner's extension reveals 49ers plan a 2-year window to chase the Super Bowl. Just 2 months ago, let me make sure it's showing right. Yeah, okay. 2 months ago, the 49ers there was widespread panic about the San Francisco 49ers were doing as they lost starter after starter. Seemingly their title hopes were washed away with each wave of free agency. That's laughable. Anyway, now after making Fred Warner the highest paid inside linebacker in the NFL on Monday, it sure seems like the 49ers had a pretty good plan all along. Retooled the roster with an infusion of youth while giving their core of 8-star players a 2-year window to chase a return to the Super Bowl. Before locking up Warner, the 49ers recently took care of long-term deals with tight end George Kittle and quarterback Brock Purdy. They also brought back defensive coordinator Robert Saleh to revitalize a defense that fell flat in last year's 6-11 season. 49ers still have pass rusher Nick Bosa and cornerback Deommodore Lenoir and feel like they may have drafted 4 or 5 rookie starters last month. There's a lot of really good talent on this defense, Saleh said 2 weeks ago. And 5 of the 8 core players are on the offensive side of the ball, as besides Purdy and Kittle, the 49ers also have Christian McCaffrey at running back, Trent Williams at tackle, Brandon Ayuk at receiver. Ayuk is still working back from a torn ACL, but has a chance to be back in the first month of the season. Jawan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall should be able to hold things down until then. Contract-wise, all 8 players are signed for the next 2 years, with Williams, who turns 37 in July, the one whose deal would need some attention, as he has a $38.9 million salary cap in 2026. Kittle signed a 4-year, $76 million deal 3 weeks ago, but the 49ers could walk away after 2 years if they assess the wear and tear on the violent player's body is too much at that point. For now, Kittle and Warner are a vital part of what, thanks to an easy schedule, looks like a bounce-back season for the 49ers. They are the 2 undisputed leaders of each side of the roster, thanks to the respect earned from hard practices and great game-breaking plays on Sundays. Both held up through a very trying 2024 season, with Warner playing the last 13 games with a fractured ankle. 13 games. Last year's offseason drama with holdouts by Williams and Ayuk, followed by injury after injury, but neither Kittle nor Warner considered sitting out as the 49ers went 1-7 down the stretch. They loved football too much and didn't feel comfortable with the notion of pushing teammates in practice and then opting out just because the team was depleted and losing games. There's a couple quotes down here that I really wanted to get to. Mainly, when Warner was asked at the end of last season about Purdy one day soon becoming the highest paid player in franchise history, he didn't bat an eye. He's for sure built the right way, Warner said. I can't think of anyone right now that you'd want to give that amount of money to more than him. Purdy worked hard to become relevant, a team leader. No one in the locker room questions the contracts given to him, Kittle, or Warner. There might be some holes in the roster, tackle, receiver, and safety, but the 49ers have a lot of things to be excited about. Quote, I'm happy that we don't have a bunch of guys holding out for contracts, Kittle told NBC Sports Bay Area 2 weeks ago. I'm glad that we are not having a super drama-filled offseason. I think every year of my career, we've had a quarterback controversy at some point, and to not have that, it's going great. And just when you have everyone in the building, or the majority of the guys in the building, just the energy in the locker room is fantastic. The weight room is awesome. Guys are working really hard. So that last bit kind of stood out to me. I know we might have talked about this previously, but just kind of getting it all, with a nice bow on it now that the 3 stars, Purdy, Kittle, and Warner are locked up and extended, that kind of rings true a little more. And it kind of makes you think about the prior quotes that these players had given, right? When there were holdouts by Ayuk, Williams, McCaffrey, Debo. Oh, no, they're just handling their own. We just got to go in here and take care of our jobs and know that they'll be back with us in one day. Well, Kittle's kind of, letting you see behind the curtain a little bit, saying like, that shit bugs. And like, yeah, that shit really affected us. I'm really glad that that's not the case this year. What do you guys think about how The Athletic phrased that 2-year Super Bowl window? I that kind of was a little shocking to me. I don't know if you guys just have any thoughts on that.
I think it's just like a made up thing.
Right.
Everybody's trying to offer their opinion on it. Right. Like, because people said, oh, when you pay Purdy, the window's closed, or when they had that exodus of talent, or window's closed. Oh, they're going to be the worst. Oh, they're going to be the worst. People just, everybody changes their opinion with, it's like, a flag whipping in the breeze. It just changes. I don't know that that's true because, again, the roster is not going to be static even with those tentpole pieces there. Trent Williams is going to be here maybe for this year, but then you're going to have to replace him eventually. Kittle's going to need to be replaced eventually. It's just like you have teams that go through a lot of talent but stay near the top. How much churn did the Philadelphia Eagles have from their loss to the 49ers, or for their last Super Bowl appearance, to their loss in the playoffs after they beat the 49ers that year, to their Super Bowl run? Like, how much roster turnover did they have to this year where they lost some guys and then gained like a lot of talent and seemed like they had an amazing draft or whatever? If you're a good team that identifies talent, your window's never really truly closed. Now you might slide that motherfucker, a little bit closer to being closed, but good teams build sustainable rosters. So the 2-year window thing, maybe 2 years with this core, but that was always going to be the case anyway because they're gonna get older
because of the age. I mean, to quote Joe Burrow, "I am the window." It's like as long as they have Brock Purdy and he is who they think he is, that window is fine. I mean, you could play quarterback until you're 40, basically. I mean, not everyone can, but you could play late into your 30s if you're playing well. So, but in order to do that, they'd have to get him some protection. Mike, I don't know if you had any thoughts on any of that article or anything Kittle quotes.
I think this was someone just looking for commonalities in the contract and where the outs all are. And so you kind of find like, after 2 seasons, this guy has an out, that guy has an out, this guy has an out, Trent Williams could be ready to retire. And so it's like, okay, the Niners have a 2-year window. It's trying to draw a conclusion from the commonalities between all the contracts. And I mean, maybe well-researched, good job, or maybe just grasping at straws, you know what I mean? But either way, I don't think that's where it stops and starts, like you said, right? If we have a quarterback that can deliver the ball on time into the right spot, anybody can be good. Now it's about finding the right wide receivers. And so what that entails is what you guys are talking about, right? We have thrown wide receiver after wide receiver. While we were critiquing the 49ers for all the failed wide receivers that we've had come through, they don't just settle for their top 3 guys. They are constantly and consistently bringing in more wide receivers, even when we feel like we don't need them, because at some point, those guys are going to have to go. Someone's going to get injured. These guys are going to fall off. And so we have to know that guys can come in here and run routes and pick up the playbook. And when their number is called, we're going to need to depend on them. And so that's what they're looking for. We have a guy in Brock Purdy that we know. Oh, wait, wrong way. We have a guy in Brock Purdy that we know can deliver the ball on time and where it's supposed to be, whether you're there or not. It's just going to go in the dirt if you're not where you're supposed to be. That means that we can go ahead and trust the offensive game plan. Now we have to know that the pieces around him can rise to the occasion. There's no longer a question about this guy at that position. It's not a question anymore, right? I went back and watched some Colin Kaepernick games, and when he first came in, it was like, oh man, I'll never forget that Steelers game. It was like, holy shit, I think we got something, right? By the end of that year, Bears was the first one. The Steelers was his second best game. Mm-hmm. The Bears game was his first game, but the Steelers game was the second best. But it was like, and Alden Smith went crazy in those games also.
5.5 sacks.
Yeah. And so it was like, wow, like they went out there and they did their thing, right? But as the season progressed and then as the following season came, it was like every other game for Kaepernick seemed to be good. And it's like this guy has to get better as a passer and as a thrower of the ball. And what he thought was better was stronger and faster delivery. No, he lost touch as his career went on. We don't have to worry about that with this guy. We don't have to worry about that with number 13. Brock Purdy is not going to be a liability when it comes to throwing of the ball. That means that if you, Zach, the wide receiver, or you, Matt, the wide receiver, can be where you're supposed to be, I can trust you. And that makes it so that we can draft all these different wide receivers and find out who can take to what we're asking of you, who can beat the man coverage, who can find the soft spot in the zone so we can execute. And that goes back to what Zach was saying about Joe Burrow's comment. I am the window. We aren't searching for that anymore, right? Alex Smith had certain features that under Jim Harbaugh we really, really liked. And it's like, damn, that's the Alex Smith we've been expecting for the last 6 years, right? But why'd you move on from him? Because he wasn't doing something right. He wouldn't throw the ball downfield the way we wanted to. Then Cap comes in and loved throwing the ball down the field, but he's missing all the underneath in the middle of the field shit, right? It was always like give and take, give and take, give and take. This guy seems to have a really good balance of all three aspects. My favorite attribute to Brock Purdy is his layered throws. I have still not seen a 49ers quarterback that can consistently throw the ball over linebackers but underneath safeties right to his quarterback. I don't know how he does it. The ball does this, and then it drops right where it's supposed to go. I don't know how you do that. And I'm a guy that practiced and learned from quarterback coaches. Like the guy that was teaching me to throw for fun in the offseason was a New York Giants quarterbacks coach. And I don't know how to make the ball do this and drop. I still, to this day, don't know how to do it. And so for him to have that in his bag is a really, really good feat. I think the Niners are in a good place. He's not going to have the strongest arm. He's not the fastest runner of the ball. But when you go to create a player in any game that you're starting, you want everything to be even and above average. That's exactly where Brock Purdy is. We're in good hands. So that's my take on it all.
Good take. Very good take. All right. I think that's going to do it for tonight's show, gentlemen. Is there anything else that I missed? No? Okay. Mike?
I do have one more question for you guys. Sorry.
Yes.
We talked about shortly the Kittle extension, the Fred Warner extension, and the Brock Purdy extension, not in that order. Of those three guys, simple question for you. Which of those three guys is the face of the franchise?
Kittle.
I mean, listen, it's a quarterback-driven league. It's going to be Brock Purdy for better or worse.
Very interesting. Very interesting. The reason I asked that question is because, like, Fred Warner is clearly the guy on the defensive side of the ball, right?
Sure.
And yeah. George Kittle is the more vocal of the two guys on the offensive side of the ball.
I guess there's two ways to answer that question, right? Kittle and Warner probably in the locker room are like the most like whatever. But if you're talking in the media, Purdy's going to get the most headlines, and it's not even a question. Purdy will get the most headlines.
That doesn't make him the face of the franchise.
It does in terms of media coverage. It absolutely does. Because as Brock Purdy goes, so go the 49ers. If he plays well, people will think highly of the 49ers. If he doesn't play well, they're not going to think highly of the 49ers. Absolutely, perception is going to matter. And because he is the constant topic of the talking heads, from the Nick Wrights to the Colin Cowherds to the Grant Cohns to the David Lombardis, it's all Brock all the time because that's the way that the quarterback position goes. So
Good point.
I just think in terms of media coverage, that's how it is, but probably not like that necessarily in the locker room, although Brock is very highly thought of in the locker room as well.
What's your answer, Mike?
I think mine is George Kittle also because his quotes kind of stick to you, and what he says, he's thrown shots at Kyle, right? He's also praised Kyle. He has backed different quarterbacks. He has praised players on defense, right? He's kind of the all-around, like, and he embodies that, like, mantra of what we want 49ers players to be, right? I don't have to be a finesse pass catcher. I can be dirty and physical. I can do it all, right? Like, that's what we want the 49ers to be. We can beat you however we want to beat you. He's the only one that embodies that on both sides.
With fans, as a fans fan, right? Kittle is the guy for sure. I think he's the only actually like pretty much bulletproof for this team too. He's like a made man. Like again, like you said, he could shit talk Kyle publicly and nothing's gonna happen.
All right, Mike. I'm sure the folks already know. Please let them know where to find you.
Yeah, guys, head on over to www. No, I'm kidding. Patreon.com. It's right there below. Patreon.com/NB9ers. We put some exclusive things over there for you guys in the last couple of weeks. They're going to be becoming available on the Nothing But Niners YouTube page, so make sure you guys head on over there. We post them a week or two early on the Patreon page, and then we'll slowly bring them out to the members of the Nothing But Niners page, and then we bring them out to the public. But we are having a lot of fun over here, man, and I am looking forward to bring you guys more content. I am getting my outdoors available, and the more cigars I get to smoke, the more shows you guys are going to get, because I love nothing more than sitting back, having a smoke and relaxing and responding to you guys. And so here's the thing. On Patreon, I go live first. And so when you guys come into the live comments, you get to ask the questions. I'm not looking for payments on super chats or anything like that, and I am responding to everybody. So patreon.com/NB9ERS is where I'm going to direct you first. The second place I'm going to direct you guys to, it's not going to be the Instagram. It's not going to be the Facebook. It's not going to be the X account. It's going to be the 49ers Hive on YouTube. So make sure you guys go over there and subscribe to the YouTube page of 49ers Hive. All right, they are bringing you guys solid content. You aren't going to want to miss a single second of it. Get on over there and subscribe.
Appreciate you, Mike. Thanks for making the time as always. It's great having you on. Matt, without further ado, take us home.
Yeah. Listen, looks like everything's aligned. The only thing left to do is to sign Alfred Collins to his rookie deal. So after that, it's business as usual. Let's get to the training camps. Let's get to the preseason. I think the Niners released the preseason schedule today. I think it's Denver. Gosh, is it Denver? I don't know. Anyway, not important. What is important is that they're finally getting people under contract. So the only thing left to do, like I said, sign Alfred Collins, release the goddamn Rivals jerseys that you teased last week, and get to the camp. So thank you guys for joining us here tonight. We couldn't do this without you. For Mike, for Zach, for myself, again, we appreciate you guys. We love talking to you guys. We love having you here. And until next time, go Niners.